So, today I am doing a review of The Martian, which is the new Matt Damon film where he gets stranded on a planet, which seems to be a recurring theme for him at the moment, but there you go. This was a really good film. I think, surprisingly, despite the fact there is basically most of the film is one person by themselves, and then you've got it split into other scenes, but they're sort of intermittent. The main sort of focus is just him by himself on a planet. Matt Damon does a fantastic job. He really keeps the pace going, he's funny, he acts sort of a range of emotions really well, he does the dramatic and the sad and the panicking. It is just, he really carries it off well, is the point I'm trying to make. And I also think the writing was executed brilliantly. There were some really funny comedic moments. There's a great Lord of the Rings joke while Sean Bean is in the room. That was just a good idea. Whoever thought of that, good idea. But it was just a really sort of good film. I really did enjoy watching it. It didn't drag. I found it really interesting. It was really tense. You kind of, because of the type of film it was and the whole point of the film was leading up to this one point, I feel like I kind of knew where it was going anyway, but it was still really enjoyable to watch. There were still a lot of moments of tension and surprise. I feel like the cast was phenomenal. There were so many good actors in this film, both new and up-and-coming ones and already well-established actors, so that's really good, though Matt Damon does kind of steal the film, as you would expect him to. But he does do a fantastic job. Some of the scenery, CGI stuff of Mars is beautiful and stunning. I don't know how accurate it is because I don't really know anything about physics or space, so I'm not really the person to ask about that. But judging from things I've read, like NASA giving it a seal of approval and stuff, it obviously is quite accurate. Though it is amusing that before it was even released, water on Mars was found, and therefore kind of one of the big problems he has might not have been as much of a problem anymore. But still, that aside, just don't think of that when you're watching the film. I mean, he does it really well. I think that there's a problem, he overcomes it, he overcomes it. So actually it's quite a simplistic plot, but it's just done brilliantly. I really actually liked Matt Damon's character. I loved his determination to survive and keep going, how he doesn't just give up. He just does it really sort of methodically. I like the way he focuses on things. I actually really like him as a person. There's a scene where he runs out of ketchup and he starts using pills, and I just think that's really funny because I can identify with that, because the idea of no sauce is quite upsetting. But it's a really, really good film. I kind of can tell it's going to be on the Oscars list this year. There is normally a space one now, there seems to be a recurring theme, but I do think it will be on the Oscars list, and I do think it deserves it. It is such a brilliant film, just for the sort of the way it was made alone, like the visual imagery and stuff. But unlike most films where you'd go purely for the sort of visual imagery and CGI and what they do with it, it also has a really good plot and good characters and just a really enjoyable story. So the visual imagery is not carrying the film, and I really liked that because I don't think you see that a lot. So they're both kind of on even playing fields, making it both an enjoying film to watch for kind of a film buff or somebody that's really interested in films, to just a normal film goer who just likes to watch an enjoyable film and plot. At least that's what I found. So that was good. I'd probably give The Martian an 8 out of 10. Maybe minus a few points for me personally because it's not a genre of film I would normally enjoy watching, so there's still other films I'd probably prefer to watch, and it's an unlikely film that I will probably watch again. Maybe in a couple of years' time, if somebody who hasn't seen it wants to put it on the telly or something, I'm in the room, I wouldn't leave, but it's not one of those films that'd be like, oh, I really need to rewatch that. It's that kind of film, if people know what I mean. But it is a really enjoyable film. I do recommend people to see it at the cinema because of the way it was made. I think the big screen really does carry it off well. But yeah, I just think if you're into sci-fi or you're into abandonment stories, then it's worth watching. It's also worth watching if you're into Matt Damon, because I think it's some of the best work I've ever seen him do. And I'm not a huge Matt Damon fan, so that's high praise for me. But yes, that's what I thought of The Martian. If anyone else has seen The Martian, what did you think of it? Please leave your comments below if you liked it, disliked it, don't really care. Just have a random passing thought. thought. Maybe you haven't seen it but want to see, or you have no interest in seeing anything about The Martian that you as a viewer personally think. Leave it below, I will read. I'm interested to hear people's opinions on things, or if there's film recommendations you want to make based from The Martian, or just in general. Again, leave them below. I hope everyone is well. I'm sorry I haven't made a review for quite some time now. I'm kind of slacking a bit. Yeah, my second year of uni's got way more work than I thought it would, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to try to keep this as regular as I possibly can, but I don't think it's going to be as weekly as it was sort of this time last year. I hope everyone is well, and I will see you all soon. Bye!